Sweet.
Maybe not.
Hold on, I can't see chat. Ah!
Yeah.
Damn it. Sorry, buddy. Hold on.
Wait.
Whoa, pause.
Yeah, it's basement.
Pause.
Yeah, I think it's here.
Sal!
If you have
No, I
video
don't want to
camera,
scare
look for
Speedy.
orbs while the light is off.
I'll go get my camera.
Oh, my chair just almost broke. Creed too fat.
The reason why I was saying that is more
Dude,
like
I wish you can see
as
him
soon
when
as,
he's like
you look with the orb, then
on four
you don't need
legs
to look
and
anymore.
he's
You turn on the light so
like
you don't drain your sanity.
propped up. I don't. Prop's not the right word, but like he's like standing.
Okay.
I don't know. Proper. It's even cuter. Oh. Yeah, this is Speedy. We have a couple of emotes for Speedster.
Okay.
Let me take him downstairs because his little legs don't like going up and down the stairs anymore.
Can you bring some salt?
And then I'm ready to dive in.
Yes.
Dude, he's freshly groomed too. Hold on, maybe he will stay.
Are you gonna play Creed? Are you
Alright, this is what it would look like a little bit. Boom, boom. Nope. Nope. Ignore that. Alright, first I need to mute the music. Pause it. Boom. Okay, and so I would have like my blazer on. And mainly, hold on, mainly I try not to see the news article myself, right? Like as I'm scanning for them or whatever, I'll might like find the headline or whatever, and I try not to watch it because I like for us to see it live together, you know. Now sometimes the things are a little older, they might have been viral, and so we might have all seen it before, but now we're interacting with them together, or other people in chat might have seen them, kind of thing. Did you leave the Discord, by the way? Oh no, you're still here. And then yeah, so that's these, but let me, that's not a go. Here. Yeah, normally I'm like in my bag and I'm able to quick change them even better. This one, I checked my security camera from last night and saw my cat T'Challa square up to a bear and scare it away. Dude, hey, what a name. And you know, it looks like a black cat, but then again, it's like a black and white footage, so you know, how well did they even name it? It scared off a bear, so named it pretty well, I guess. That's so dope. Is that how your cat is, but you're the bear and your cat's the cat? It dominates the space you're in. Like it's his world and you're just living in it. Is that right, Hero? And I have this little picture of Speedy just in case the comments are sus or something, and it's something that can get me in trouble. And then if the comments are good, then I'll, you know, hide Speedy's cute ass. Ooh, I love this one. Ooh, I think, hold on. Cell, are you there? By the way, skirt. I used to be a fan, but after this masterpiece, I'm a whole air conditioner. Dude, he's aged well. Hide the comments anyway with Speedy. Tiny Desk is so dope. I'm so glad they came up with that. You know, honestly, what Tiny Desk kind of reminds me of... Hold on, let me mute it. Oh, I should have muted anyways. Is, do y'all remember when MTV used to do, like, Unplugged? And it would be, like, intentionally in like, an acapella or a chopped up and very, vulnerable version of the music. This is what this reminds me of. Caps on purpose. That was fair. That was a fair use of it. Here we are. I said I was only gonna do a couple, and I'm going on my fourth or fifth. Oh, I've already done that one. This one. This dog was found clinging to a shopping cart floating on the river. Did I do this one last week? I think I might have actually done this one last week. Oh well, here you get to see this one. I mean, can we talk about the river being so dirty that's got a just full-fledged shopping cart? Careful with them. Dude, shout out firefighters and stuff for real. Yeah, we definitely watched this one last week. Dude, love stories like that. The problem is there's so many dogs and pets that need that because there's so many people who are negligent and like just let dogs make 4 litters, and when they know that they can't sustain it and just drop it off, they just dump them at a pound at worst case scenario or an animal rescue shelter. Okay, this next one. Oh, and the other thing I do, Hero, is I'll try to, because again, I'm not watching them for the, like, at least 85% of these I don't watch beforehand. So going off of the name of them, or like the headline, sorry, I'll come up with like a name. And so, like, for example, the first one where the deer lifts its head up, and I just named it Deer Hair Inspiration. The dog one was Doggy Paddle. So a lot of times I'll just name it something like, and I don't even know what it is. Like this next one's called Nap to Nap, and I don't even remember what it's in reference to. Here we go. Boom, bop. Bro woke up from a nap to take a nap. Oh, look at the corgi. Oh, what a mood. And then, dude, anytime a dog or an animal crosses their forearms and then, like, it's so adorable, especially when they rest their head on it. Dude, total mood. Let me run that one back. Doesn't even, it looks like it's going to take the time to stretch and then lay down. Nah, I ain't got time for that. He does his stretch on the ground. He's like, I'll just stretch that way. That's so great. See, I just called that one Nap to Nap. All right, this one's called Sabertooth Kitten, which is not an innuendo, despite most people's proclamation. Okay, this one, scientists have discovered a 35,000-year-old saber-toothed tiger kitten preserved in permafrost. That's sick. Look at its little ears. Oh my god, it's so cute. Dude, I want a saber-tooth tiger so bad. Has anyone played the game Far Cry Primal? The Far Cry games are dope in general, but Far Cry Primal, you actually can like tame. Well, you do this in Horizon Zero Dawn too. Speaking of it, Hero, except they're robotic dinosaurs, but you like tame certain ones and you can ride them. Scientists have discovered a 3-week-old saber-toothed cat cub frozen and mummified in Siberia. Nah, isn't it always there? It seems like, or Canada, dating back over 35,000 years. The specimen allowed scientists to observe the fur, paws, and more. Look at its little ears. It's like Simba. That's so great. T'Challa cat, I did that. Oh, bunny submarine. Sold. I'm also trying to get better at organizing these in the sense like the animal section, the world section, and then like a sports one. Just found out that rabbits can swim. Also learned their ears go into swim mode when they do. This is important news. Okay, I don't know if I've ever seen a rabbit or bunny swim. It kind of looks like a beaver or something. If that was approaching me, I would actually like kick at it until I realized what it was. Look at that. That bunny. Dude. That thing looks like a beaver when it's going. Have any of y'all ever seen a rabbit swim? There's also no audio for this, sad. I kind of want to hear how it... Plop, 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 plop. This is how I imagine it swim, the sound it makes when it swims. There, it's ugly, right? I'm not trusting what's approaching me. It's getting kicked. I'm taking the fishing pole. If I have the rifle on me, later I'm going to be devastated. Let's be real. I'm going to be devastated. But here, not, especially this kind of water. And then here, I'm not killing it, but I'm like, dude, there's a beaver. There's a capybara? Is that a capybara? And then its ear's going to go, bro, I'm going to think that I smoked the wrong thing. That one's wicked. Bunny submarine. Okay, we got a couple more. Raccoons in trench coats sold. Okay. Apparently I can't copy for shit. Oh, yes. Way too much time. Okay, never mind. In case he doesn't want to get in trouble. I mean, this is wicked dedication. I don't have part 2, but I'm sold on part 1. Hold on, let's get a good pause here. Look at that. It's an art installation. If the question is why, how come? It's art, right? But a lot of time on his hands. Hold on, some of these comments are pretty decent. Wait. Hold on. Somebody goes, I lost it. Where'd it go? I'm assuming making a dumpster is cheaper for some reason. And then at least this is better than that stupid hot dog water. Agreed. All right, this will be the last one. This one I just named Ain't No Way. Control V. Oh, nope. And I'm not wickedly scared of heights, mind you. New world record after balancing on a slack line between 2 hot air balloons. Oh, sorry, I haven't been able to see chat. Let me catch up. My bad. I've been locked in. I'm so sorry. Whoa. Wow, I missed a lot. Supercell, hold on. Let me catch up. And music. Supercell has its own downloadable thing for COC. PC, it really does? Brain fingering. Oh, Jessica gets me in trouble. Who's Jessica? No way Cell said demure. Good Kitty-O. Hide the comments anyway. Oh, I saw that. What is MTV? I hate you. Oh, shit. Man, I missed the volume thing. Fuck. Sorry. My bad. Again, I shouldn't have done it that long. I was never planning on diving in. Jessica is Let Me Finger Your Brain. She's our Twitch mom. Cute doggo. Watch out with animal saving videos. Some are fake and capitalizing on people's emotion to get money. That's I mean, I'm 34. I'm about to be 35 in a week. I'm aware of that. We demand a speedy cam. Corgi is me. I don't want to belly. Dude, there's nothing like a pet when they cross the arms, dude. Stay close so that water won't get in. Yeah, to prevent the water from getting in. Yeah, that makes sense. Creed kicks bunnies confirmed. Yep. That's a good point, Hero. I don't remember if I said I wasn't shocked that bunnies can swim. More so, I've never seen one swim, if that makes sense. Dude, the born into our mother's womb is based, dog. That is based. Guess I'm not a mammal. Oh, a Flareon? I missed a Flareon. So much to catch up on. I'm used to being ignored. Don't get out of here. Get out of here with that. All right, hopefully that I turned it down a good bit. Hopefully that helps. Of course, I'm playing Taylor Swift. And sell leaves. All right, back to this thing. Dude, ain't no way. Dude, look at that view, though. The freaking Alps. That is nuts. I'm not even afraid of heights, really, and that is just nuts. Yeah! Oh, yeah. Hero, what languages do you speak? Are you fluent in French, being Canadian? All right, I lied. I'm gonna do one more because I want to also see if it's better volume-wise. This one I just named Neat Street. Hold on. David Zen transforms ordinary streets into whimsical scenes with his imaginative chalk art, often incorporating environmental features like sidewalk cracks to bring his characters. Known for his ephemeral approach, Zen's art is designed to be enjoyed in the moment, brightening public spaces from Michigan to cities worldwide. Oh, the other thing, Hero. So I try to keep it pretty new, like recent stuff. Okay. Now we're in January 2025. This is October 2024, and this post or whatever could have gone viral before that. I have a lot of catching up to do. I was one of those people who were without power or internet or anything for 2 weeks because of the hurricanes back in August, and then my computer's motherboard died on me in November. So I basically had a month and a half, 2 months yoinked of streaming. So there's still some stuff I'm catching up on. Oh, Sluggo. Sluggo. Just inject it. French and English, know a bit of... Oh, look at that, dude. It's like a little Stuart Little. Bro, that's so dope. The depth he can create with that is incredible, bro. It's orangutan? Oh, it's a dog. Oh, look at that. Dude, that's so dope. Oh, dude, that would... Honestly, though, that would freak me out if I saw and didn't know better. Like, literally would freak me out. Hold on, one more.
Roundabout in Ashland ends up looks like someone.
This one I titled "Driving is Hard."
So it just drove straight through it. It's supposed to be like this guy and go around the circle, but overall we're shaping up to see a pretty dry start to the day.
Wait, I missed what happened. Run that back.
At the roundabout in Ashland ends
Oh, that man or woman or whatever they want to be had just. I'm going straight. You know what? You know what Papa always told me? The shortest distance between point A and point B is a straight line. Okay?
looks like someone just drove.
Just went straight through it.
Straight through it. It's supposed to.
One more time. That's. I mean, look at it. This. He needs to go right here, right? He says, "No, thank you."
At the roundabout.
This is much quicker.
About in Ashland ends up. Looks like someone just drove. So it just drove straight through it.
So about a year ago, the interstate exit near my house got a roundabout, 2 of them on each side of it, and it blows my mind how many people are either have never experienced it or have but are still so bad at it. Like, they do not understand the concept of flow of traffic or any of that. They are using the music from Howl's Moving Castle. Great movie. That's your favorite? Mine's probably Spirited Away. I know that's cliche, but it's either Spirited Away or Princess Mononoke. Mononoke. So I've been trying to get it better in segments. So I had all the animal ones first, and then next I have a segment of wholesome sports moments. I'm not gonna go through them all, but I do want to go. We'll do this one. Be the last one for real. So, bottom baseball player for the San Diego Padres. Above, the chick who was singing the national anthem before the game.
And R&B recording artist and the beloved sister of NLDS Game 3 winning pitcher Michael King, Olivia King. Sing along as she performs the Star Spangled Banner.
So I don't know if y'all heard. Did I turn it down too much? Is the audio better, by the way? Like, y'all can still hear it plenty fine, but it doesn't drown me out? Okay, cool. So that's his sister, and he didn't know that she was going to be singing, but he obviously knew that she was a recording artist and, like, she's a singer, but he had no idea she was going to be doing the national anthem. And then when he finds out, he's like, it's so dope. It's a great brother and sister. The title of it is Awesome Brother Sister Moment. Sometimes my titles aren't always, like, cheeky. Love that, dude. That's so cool. So dope. I need to take my hat off. Alright, that's it. It's awesome. Very cool. I love his reaction. I'm gonna run it back just to see the reaction when he like realizes his sister.
Chart-topping pop and R&B recording artist and the beloved sister of NLDS Game 3 winning pitcher.
Oh, hell yeah. And look at that. So proud. Her smirk. Dude, so dope. So dope.
Olivia King.
Congrats. That's really sick.
She performed.
Okay. Yo, so I have this. This is what I have. I have these Google Docs Hero where I get them all compiled. See, these are the ones I've done in the past. And again, I lost all of November essentially. One of the ones we did was Bat Nightclub. Georgia kid that's a cool story. I actually want to follow up on that. The kid from Georgia who invented a pesticide detector. Yep. So that was really dope. Super dope. All right, that's enough news day. Although I feel bad because I wound up essentially doing an entire news day. That was like 30 minutes long. But I didn't post on Discord and let people know. Bad streamer indeed. CCC. I want to warn you. You're good. I'm not one of like, okay, I am patriotic, like I do love America, but I'm also one of those that isn't like, nah. This is something that comes to my mind instantly. So hopefully that will be a decent indicator of how I kind of view things. Let's take Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt, American president, right? Teddy Roosevelt was president at the beginning of the 1900s, okay? Now, he is generally regarded as a phenomenal president because, if nothing else, one thing that he did do brilliantly was he kind of got it set in stone. He was got a lot of traction on the of the creation of the national parks, right? And making it against the law to commercialize them to a certain extent, and to like preserve Yellowstone and Yosemite and the Badlands, right? The Cherokee National Forest, right? Anyways, Great Smoke, what is it? It's right by me. Great Smoky Mountains. Anywho, so yes, dope. Love that he was a conservationist in that sense, okay? And that he was very much a proponent of getting the national parks. Now, a lot of people like to say that he did all the work. No, that was a guy named John Muir, and I hate how little we learned about. Like, I know I had never heard of him until after college. And it's a shame that that John Muir guy doesn't get more attention. But as early as like the 1840s, John Muir was out in Yosemite and stuff and was like seeing hotels pop up or, whatever. And he was like, no. And he would write letters back to Washington, these gorgeous, vivid letters of like, hey, this needs to be preserved, especially when he got to Yosemite, right? And so, anyways, John Muir deserves most of that credit that we just lazily give to Teddy Roosevelt. But anyways, Teddy Roosevelt, great in that regard. He was also shitty in the regard that he was a well-renowned hunter, right? Loved hunting. And there's a famous story where, well, first, I hate what the American government did to the American buffalo or the bison, right? I hate it. That we essentially almost hunted them to an extinction. Not because we necessarily needed the meat or the pelts or the bones. We did it to cuck the Native Americans. There were literally newspaper articles that said like, basically, the United States government put out bounties essentially for hunters that like, hey, if you go hunt the American buffalo, we will give you more money because we know that decimating them decimates the Native American population. So I hate that. And so along those lines, Teddy Roosevelt, big hunter, heard that, like, basically someone was like, hey, by the way, we know that you haven't killed and mounted, like, taxidermied and got a trophy of a American buffalo, and they're running low, basically. We're running out of stock. So if you want to kill one, and so at that moment, right, a conservationist, you would like to think that he would have, whoa, wait, what? There's less than 1,000? There's less than 3,000? There used to be millions. 20 plus million of them. You're telling me there's less than 5,000 or however much at that time, right? You would think he'd be like, whoa, pump the brakes. No. He was, oh shit, really? Where's my rifle? And he goes and gets on a train and he goes and he kills, you know what I mean, gets him one before they go away. So that's kind of how, that's a lens at which I like to view things. I truly try to be objective and as well-rounded about something as I can be. And so like again, going back to the entertainment thing we were talking about earlier, where people have a hard time finding nuance, I try to think that I like to think that I'm good at finding the nuance, and that not everything is black and white. Like, yes, you should praise Teddy Roosevelt for the national park stuff, but also understand that him and the American government, or the United States Army at the time, and his reaction to the decimation of the American buffalo population, it's like shitty. So I do respect you giving me that preface about I'm gonna poke fun. You can do that as long, I mean, if it's an unfounded one or whatever, then yeah. But there's also the scene. Now, granted, some might say, "Oh, this scene is too woke," or whatever, right? Let me just the newsroom. We probably all seen this. The newsroom opening. Yep. Now, this is Aaron Sorkin, who is the writer of Newsroom. He also famously was the writer for The West Wing, one of the best script writers in Hollywood over the last 30-ish years. So this is brilliant writing, and it's all factual. Now, of course, there's a lot of people who hate it because of how much it denigrates. And so, like, I'm also one of those that, like, there's a lot of people who think America are amazing at certain things, and we are. But the things that we are thought of at being amazing at, we're often not. But there are other things that we are brilliant at, and that often don't get the kind of recognition and stuff like that, like our super labs and our particle accelerators and stuff. Anyways, this scene's always brilliant, but it comes with a little bit of thorniness. But anyways, is that loud enough? Hold on. Before I dive into this, let me catch up. All good. He was a precursor in that, indeed. Oh, I've never heard of that side story. That side of the story. Interesting. He also got shot and gave a speech, which was pretty badass. Who, Teddy Roosevelt? I don't doubt. Was a conservationist exactly for that. He was protecting lands for his hunting. Oh, yeah, for sure. But, well, right. But then, here's the thing. At a certain point, keep in mind, John Muir, at that point, there had been a push. In fact, if I remember correctly, in like the 1860s, there was a vote in the United States Congress, I think in the House of Representatives, but one of our branches, about establishing a law. We codify the concept of a national park. As early as 1960, it officially reached the floor of one of the Senates, right? Or one of the floors of Congress. It got shot down almost overwhelmingly, if I remember correctly, right? That was in the 1860s-ish. John Muir started to write about the areas as early as the 1840s, if not 30s. So at that point, it's safe to say that he had already waited 20-ish years, 25, to try to get traction. It gets shot down in Congress in the 1860s. 40-ish years later, Teddy Roosevelt. By the way, I'm looking at chat. I'm not reading anything. I'll even close my eyes so y'all know this is off the dome. But Teddy Roosevelt, some 40 years later, Teddy Roosevelt finally gets wheels in motion. So at a certain point, in my opinion, now again, you would like for it not to have, you would like for there not to be such sinister, ulterior motives, right? But at a certain point, we needed to do the national park thing. It, like, for example, in the late 1890s, Niagara Falls was starting to get commercialized so bad that there's pictures of how many billboards. Think of like billboards around Times Square, obviously not neon lights or whatever, but billboards around Niagara Falls, to the point where in that picture you can barely see the water because there are so many billboards, right? So at a certain point, we needed to codify national parks in the law. So if it took somebody wanting to preserve the hunting to get the overall thing done, because John Muir had started the push some 60, 70 years earlier and we had no traction, it's one of those, it's like, I hate that it needed that ulterior motive to get Teddy to push it. But it got pushed. And so again, there's degrees to it, right? Like, do I want somebody to murder somebody to get these, you know what I mean? Like, to degrees here, of course. But and then now those national parks are the very sanctuaries where we have recovered the American buffalo's population numbers. Sorry, I can get into rants like this all day, and I know it's boring and it's terrible for viewership, but that's also why I also do not ever have my viewership shown, because I don't want to say, like, I believe most of what I say, and I'm not gonna let that affect me. Anyways, we read so much about this semester. It's such a sad story. Which one in particular, Lux? So what was it to finalize that point? Yeah, so you can now, I think that gives a good indicator of how I can view, like, I'd like to view things and try to be very objective of, like, yeah, that's good. This is the good, and let's try to harness that. And then sometimes it is unfortunate that the ulterior motives are what they are. But again, going back to John Muir, his name should be mentioned more, and kids should learn more about that, in my opinion. All right, tell me the hunting of the American buffalo. Yeah, it's so sad. Again, the United States Army. There are literally newspaper clippings from when they would have that bounty program. And again, it wasn't like it was a crazy rough winter in New York. Upper New York needed pelts for warmth, right? Or there was a food shortage in Detroit. No, I mean, they probably what's the word I'm looking for? Posed it as that, not posed. Yeah. Anyways, they probably propped it up as that, but we also know there's other documents that says it's like it was the deliberate attempt to break the Native American culture by taking something that is so vital to them. All right. Is this loud enough? Can y'all hear it? And again, I would like to preface, I don't agree with everything here. I mean, when the stats are the stats, I'm not sure how accurate they were at the time that this show was written, but it's the general the concept. And nowadays we know it as American exceptionalism, and that was something that was preached to kids, and like that was instilled in you, that like we're the best at this, we're the best readers, we're the best at music, we're the best at math, we're the best at any branch of science. A TED talk, basically, a Socratic circle. Yo, my bad, Hero. I'm just now realizing that I have been unmuted in the Discord the whole time. I completely understand why you deafened it, because you were probably hearing everything twice. Hold on. I love looking at American history and politics from the lens rather than picking one side. That gets me going, gets me juiced. We read a lot of the stories of the man who said that they felt that their spirited rich. That's a perspective that I hadn't seen or hadn't really thought of, but yeah, it would you can understand why that would, like, something that you hold so revered being so de-sanctified. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna keep playing this. Jeff Daniels, incredible. This monologue, ridiculous. Well, technically it's a soliloquy, but I want to say that this show aired around 2012. So the concept, like, nowadays you see this and you're like, oh yeah, this is very common, something going viral. this wasn't necessarily that common to see everyone just getting their phones out, right, in 2012, even as late as 2012. Yosemite, which is, and I forgot he actually says that in this, and that's a crazy full circle moment. Him even saying Yosemite. We don't have to go to jail for there. Then that's a whole loaded topic as well. You have obviously one of the like, it sucks in America that people are terrified to go broke, to put themselves into financial ruin just to go get a routine checkup. Sometimes 45-year-old man desperately needs to go and get a colonoscopy or get his heart checked, you know what I mean? Go, and they're afraid because it's $600, $1,500, $3,000. Like, you get in a car wreck, and the fact that you're worried about the $1,000 ambulance fee to take you just to get checked to make sure you have no internal bleeding is crazy. But on the other hand, with universal health care, you often do, you will see less quality service sometimes because you don't have that competitive free market dynamic that makes people need to be better service providers. I hear a lot of my friends who are Canadian, and I went to college with a couple. One of them is one of my best friends. He prefers it. He prefers the universal health care, but he always talks about how he could easily wait. He might have to wait 3, 5. He said he's had to wait 6 hours before in a like urgent, just for his, like, you know, your checkup, right? You get an appointment. Even though you have an appointment, it's been like 5, 6 hours before for him to get seen. Like, he sits in the waiting room for that long. So, nuance. Oh no, for sure. Right. And so, for example, like, when I've never had to sit in a waiting room longer than 20-ish minutes at my doctor, and he gives unbelievable care. So it's one of those. And now I don't know enough about either, but those are two things that I can prop. Is like, one benefit of the universal health care is you don't have to this fear of financial ruin just to go get routine checkups. But then on the other hand, because there is no free market element, now you can also argue, like, the prison industrial complex in America, especially, right? It sucks that that is an industry, that is for profit. The idea of incarcerating people by choice to make money is terrible, and that's why we see such low or high recidivism rates in America, because often our prisons aren't about rehabilitation like they should be. Just like we hear in the medical profession, unfortunately, it is more profitable to treat something than it is to cure something. But, all right, y'all get the premise of that. Again, not that I agree with everything, but the concept is there is, and thankfully over the last 15, 20-ish years especially, it's come back down. But I know my parents and their people their age, and even probably their parents, the concept of American exceptionalism was drilled into them. Like, the concept of other countries being better at math than us would, no, no way, no way, yeah. So, but that's Aaron Sorkin at his best. And again, regardless of whether you agree with that, Jeff Daniels' delivery here is incredible. I mean, my man goes in. Once you see the lights, the light bulb go off, he's like, I'm going in. Well, it's applicable to both, but I was talking about, well, even in the ER when I got in the car wreck in August, I was probably seen within 20-ish minutes. What was I gonna say? But you even just asking that question is an important question to be asked, because it is worth delineating between the two. Oh, Cell, get out of here. Boo! Boo! In Canada, Fetty Wap probably won't get boo! Boo! Alright, Lux said BRB. I don't know, I've yet to see. Okay, I saw that. Grass isn't always greener, agreed. Negligently unalive someone. Boo! Boo! He might have been talking about ER, but He also talks that when he talk. Well, I know one thing when he has mentioned his family doctor. I don't know about the wait time explicitly, but I do know that he mentions that he has to get his appointments like so far in advance, and he's like terrified of ever rescheduling it because then you have to wait months again. But those are like at that point it's very anecdotal examples, and I don't like to linger too much on that, so that's my fault for even going anecdotally like that. Oh, don't get me started about doctors making money. And dude, prisons making money piss me off. That's why last week, Sel, you might remember one of the Newsday's stories was about Jelly Roll, the musician, right? And how he went to go do a concert somewhere, and there was a local jail, and he got in touch with the sheriff, and that jail had like a musical program which is designed to help inmates not only pass the time, but to hopefully give them an outlet and ideally a way to, once they get out, to have a career of some kind or whatever. And so Jelly Roll did that concert where he got inmates from that musical program, which is something that he essentially graduated from himself. And that's why I love that story, because it's a sheriff who's it's a jail, and it's a sheriff that are about seeing rehabilitation, which I love.